When you study ancient history and you dig down, how do I know this fact is true? Most of the time it's based on one source. But for the conviction of the disciples that they encountered the resurrected Jesus, we have no fewer than 9 ancient sources, inside and outside the New Testament. The first is that creed I mentioned earlier. First Christians, right there in the first century, gathered around this creedal statement based on facts that they knew to be true. And this creed says Jesus died. Why? For our sins. He was buried. On the third day, he rose from the dead, a creed whose historical credentials are so strong that one of the few Jewish New Testament scholars, Pinchas Lapid, said it may be taken as a statement of eyewitnesses. Second, we have Paul's testimony, because Paul said, I encountered the risen Christ, and then he got to know the disciples. He says in 1 Corinthians, in his letter he wrote, he said, whether it is I or they, this is what we preach. So he's saying, look, I encountered the risen Christ, so have they. Third is the book of Acts. Even skeptical scholars will accept that the book of Acts is the account of the spread of the early church. What is the thing that drove it? It was a proclamation of the resurrection. So here we have Peter in Acts chapter 2, who gets up before a crowd, and he says, men of Israel, listen to these words. This Jesus, a man attested to you by miracles and wonders and signs, which he did in your midst. You know that he did. He's appealing to their common knowledge. And then he says, this Jesus God raised from the dead, to which we're all witnesses. And how did they react? History tells us that 3,000 people said, Peter, we know you're telling us the truth. What do we do? They repented, and the church was born.